This week we've got a quick little video for you, and I was puttering around the shop the other day, trying to avoid doing something I had to do, and I started on a little project that I thought I'd share with you. There are a couple of my lenses that I have that don't have lens caps for them. I thought I'd share with you how I make a really super simple lens cap, and we're going to look at some lens caps that I have that are already on lenses. And then there's a little project where I'm taking a plastic lens cap that's way too big and shrinking it, and we'll see how much of a dog's dinner I make of it or how good it turns out. Anyway, let's get to it. Today we're going to talk about lens caps. Lens caps not only offer protection for our cameras, but in the wet plate world they also act as a shutter because our exposures are so long. And there are basically 3 or 4 different types of lens caps that we're going to talk about today. The first one is this. This is the type of lens cap that came with this lens. It's beautiful lacquered brass. It's amazing. It's perfect. I love it. But sometimes your lenses come without a lens cap. This lens came without a lens cap. I had this one custom made. It fits perfectly. And I even had a back cap made for it. But it offers ultimate protection, and it's a really, really good shutter. It slides off very easily, and it's lovely. There's also this type of lens cap. Now, this lens cap didn't come with this lens. It was a little bit too big, so I put some tape on the inside to kind of make it fit a little bit better. And there, it works. Problem with this one is I don't have a back cap. We're going to address that later. Now, the other type of lens cap is one that's completely homemade. This one's made out of cardboard and tape. And what we're going to do today is we're going to make a lens cap for this lens right here. The reason I haven't used this lens yet is because I don't have a lens cap for it. It needs a lens cap. So we're going to do that today. And then we're going to make a back cap for this guy. And then we're going to do something interesting where we're going to take this big lens cap here, and I'm going to try and cut it down and modify it so it can be as a back cap for this one. So that's what we're doing today. And let's get to it. First thing we're going to do is we're going to measure this about 9 millimeters. Mark that. Straight edge. Next, we're just gonna measure that, mark that. Okay, so we got 2 kinds of tape here. Got some paper tape, and we've got cloth tape. Each one is going to serve a specific purpose. First thing we're going to do with this tape is Come on now. Okay. That'll straighten itself out. And then, I think you see where this is going. So we're going to cut some strips. Like this. Now, I'm going to just place this in here. Line it up. Let's get the first one there. And this is just to get this started. It's going to go there. It's going to go there. That's going to go there. So that basically gets us in the ballpark, right? So we're going to check the fit. That's actually quite nice. That's actually working out pretty nice. So we're going to set that there for now. We're going to take a strip of the cloth tape. And bring the cloth tape around the edge. Okay. Then, so what we do is we bring tip down to there. Okay. And then one by one, just pull these in. And work. Now keeping the lens cap on the lens so that when we pull this tight, it's got something to pull against, you know? Okay. So, that's the start. It's a little bit loose, but we're going to take care of that next. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take some of this tape. This is the paper tape. The reason that we use the black tape, especially on the inside of the lens cap, is because we really need this to be black. If it's not black, when we take it off the lens, we'll see a white streak come across our image. And that is no bueno. Okay. And I know we've got this gap. We'll take care of that. I want to get the inside of the lens cap fitted to the lens perfectly, if I can. And I'll do that by adding layers of tape on the inside to snug it closed. Okay. Ooh. There we go. That's nice. Slides off easily, but it's snug enough that it won't fall off. Okay, great. So now we're going to take the cloth tape again and just go around the outside, around the outside, around the outside, around the outside. And we'll do the same procedure that we did before. Let me just snug it up tight over the top. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so gonna cut a bit of a radius and just bring it in inside there. And it doesn't have to be perfect because we can always make it perfect later. So like I can just bring this in there and we'll work our way across. One more. Great. Let's test fit again. Oh, that's nice. So, there is our shutter. Like I said, it's not going to offer a lot of protection, but it's mainly because I need a shutter. And look at that. It's perfect. Excellent. Let's do the same thing for this guy. Okay, the first step in making this back cap is going to be marking the circumference or outer diameter of this element. So the thing about doing this bit is that if it's too big, you can always fix that. But if it's too small, that becomes a problem. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to stay at or outside the line. And I think I've mostly done it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to determine how deep the lens cap needs to be. So I think 12 mil. So you see this is a gap here that okay, that may be a problem. Let's see how it fits. It's way loose. So what we can do is let's actually just snip and snip. There we go. That'll work. Now this back cap here is obviously not going to be a shutter, but when I have these lenses in a case, when I'm traveling to events, I don't like the foam in the case contacting the lens element. Over time, that can scratch or wear, and it's just a bit nicer and tidier to have a dust cap on the back of the lens. There we go. Now let's do a test fit. Way loose, but that's great. We're fine with that. So now we're going to do the inside. Eventually, I'd like to be able to afford to get custom lens caps for all of these lenses. A really nice custom lens cap. Not only does it look nice, but it also enhances the value of the actual lens itself. So if I ever decide I want to sell it, that's a selling point, that it has its own custom lens cap. The custom lens caps, they're not obscenely expensive, but they're not cheap. There's a guy in Eastern Europe somewhere. Found him on Facebook. If I can find him, I'll put a link to his Facebook page in this post. He does a lot of lens caps for the wet plate community, and his work is just stellar. All you have to do is send him the outer diameter of the lens, how deep you want the lens cap to be, and what he sends you fits absolutely perfectly. And when you're measuring your lens for his lens caps, I really highly suggest you use calipers, so it's really super accurate. It's really nice. Okay. Oh, there we go. That's nice. So because it's a back cap, I could stop here. But because I'm broken, I'm going to cover this stuff. And more right there. And then we're going to do, oh yeah, that's fine. That's fine. So that's the back cap. Done. This is going really well. Okay. Next up, we're going to tackle this. And I've got to think about what I'm going to do about this. Basically, what I want to do is I want to cut down this to fit this. And if it has to look, taped up like this, that's fine. But this is just way too big. It needs to be cut down. So I have an idea. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace the OD onto cardboard, and then that cardboard will go onto here. And then using the Dremel, I will cut that down, and then I will cut the sides down and make it fit that if this is bendy enough. That's my idea. So this could all fall apart, but we're going to make it work. So let's start here. Will this work? I don't know. But if it doesn't, I'll just do the same thing I did before and make one out of the cardstock and tape. But since I've got this big lens cap here, and I've got a Dremel, most importantly, I've got time, that is kind of what I'm thinking. I mean, that seems doable, doesn't it? Okay. Let's get some tape loops on here. Use this as a guide. Okay, let's start. I think what I'm going to do first is cut up to here and to here. I'm going to do that with a cutting disc. Okay, that worked. So let's remove that. Switch to this. Wow, that made short work out of this. That's pretty cool. Okay, now I think we just need to take the edge off this, and I think I'll just do it with this, seeing as how that worked so well. It's doing a great job of melting the plastic, but not so much cutting it. I think we need to go back to, oh, wait a minute. I have an idea. What if that were possible? Huh. That seems to fall right into the easy peasy lemon squeezy camp there. Okay, let's see what we can do. That. Ooh. That almost works. Cutting wheel back on. Okay. Okay. Yes, that works. Now, the real question is, will this glue? Will super glue take care of that? I think what I need to do is to cut some relief. I'm going to cut some relief slots in here. Oh, that bends a lot easier. Let's see if we can super glue the inside. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any kicker left, which is a bummer. What I may be able to do have some sodium carbonate. And if I can get some sodium carbonate into that gap, okay, a little bit much, but there we go. We can file the rest of that. Ah, balls. That didn't work out great. Okay, let's so sodium carbonate and super glue make this kind of really, really hard substance. It's like concrete. And so it really, it's a good gap filler. It dries really hard. It tends to be a bit brittle. Apparently it makes smoke. And it's obviously it's a f***ing mess. Okay, so just had a quick lunch break and let this dry as much as it's going to, and I have a plan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to carefully sand the inside of this, and then I'm going to take off these humps here, all of these little guys, and then we're going to use 5-minute epoxy to attach this to the inside of here, and then I'm going to sand the outside of this, hoping that the 5-minute epoxy is enough to hold everything together so that I can make this all nice and smooth. That's the plan. We'll see how it works. This could all fall apart quite quickly. So once again, the Dremel. And here we go with the inside. Test fit. Oh, it's so perfect. Love it. Okay, so that I'm gonna sit in there, and guess we get some epoxy. So this is quite old. I really don't know if it's even good anymore, but we will find out. I don't remember it being this gooey. This may be too old. But I'm putting it on quite thick so it can seep through the relief cuts that we made. I think that, well, it does look like a horror show. I think at the end of the day, it'll be fine. Okay, let's... Ugh. Okay. So my idea it's this. There we go. Okay, let's let that dry for a bit. Well, the epoxy has dried. It still looks like a bit of a dog's dinner, but it'll serve the purpose, and if we test fit it, it works for the most part. What I'm going to do is I'm going to smooth out this bit, and then I'm going to go around the inside in here and see if I can get rid of some of that. But, I mean, it's, as far as being what it's built for, it's going to be fine. I think what I may do in the future is get some plastic, epoxy putty for plastic, kind of smooth this over, and then sand it out and paint it. But yeah, so let's get in with the Dremel and see what we can do. Well, it's a little bit loose, but that's totally something we can figure out how to do. We just wrap some paper tape around the inside, and much like we did here with this one, the size of this was massaged a little bit with tape, and we'll do the same thing here. We'll take some maybe some gaff tape, some cloth tape, and just wrap that around the inside here, and do one layer and see how that works. And maybe we get lucky, and this is the one thing that'll make it work. Okay. There we go. Nice. I mean, yeah, it looks terrible. Doesn't look pretty at all, but it's a back cap, and it's just there for protection. And at some point, maybe I'll come back and finish it and paint it. Thanks for joining me, my lovely patrons, for this quick little video project. I hope you got something out of it, and I hope you don't feel intimidated by making your own lens caps. It's a really super simple process. It can be as simple as you want, and like you saw, it can be as difficult as you want. Anyway, event season starting. LARPCon is our first event in Colville. That's the first weekend of March. And then throughout March and April, I've got a couple things going here in my neck of the woods. I'm going to be teaching a class, a tintype portrait class at Creative Sterling. And I've also got an exhibition coming, and I'll have some updates and video about that. But I hope everybody's doing well. Thank you for watching. And of course, my patrons, thank you for your support. And we'll see you again soon.